Greetings. I am Adama. We last spoke of the Ascended Master overlay and the process by which one may become Christed. This process, as we say, is one of hollowing out the self, becoming empty and receptive to the soul vibration of the higher self that wishes to express through you as you. Today we speak of the stumbling blocks upon the path, which are an impediment to your Christhood. Each of you possesses the capacity in this incarnation, during the changing of this age from one to the next, to become, in truth, your Christed self. But there are things that each of us will confront upon this path that prevent the Christed self, the higher self, from expressing through you as you. These three stumbling blocks, if we are to simplify greatly this process, are fear, hesitancy, and doubt. Fear is the first stumbling block that each of you will face time and again with each new up-level in consciousness. New fears will arise, which, out of concern for the body of form, out of concern for the life situation that you have built, for concern of those around you, concern for the opinions of the other self, which will cause you to resist that which is true and wants to be born through you from taking root and coming into physical manifestation. When we consent to walk the path of Christhood, we consent to our own crucifixion in form. This is not necessarily as literal as that crucifixion of Yeshua upon a cross, of the physical body being nailed and persecuted and mocked. But each of you, in your own way, will experience crucifixion. You will experience persecution by yourself, first and foremost, and by others who simply represent an externalized representation of your own fear. Consider the ways in which you are crucifying yourself, persecuting yourself, being less than you are because you are afraid to be more. Each of you has the opportunity to choose moment by moment, a life of the Christ itself, or a life informed by fear, hesitancy, and doubt. What will they think of me if I come to be known in truth as a Christ? Am I a hypocrite? For I am imperfect. I am not yet worthy of that designation. Am I deluding myself? Am I lying? Am I a fraud? These thoughts of unworthiness are the source of all fear. These thoughts of unworthiness are the nails that we drive into our own hands and heart. Know, dear ones, that you are infinitely worthy of grace. Know, dear one, that you are infinitely worthy of love. Know, dear one, that your true nature is the Christ itself, and that you are simply remembering who and what you are. Yes, there are aspects of the personality, of the mind, of the body, that have not yet come into vibrational accord with the Christ itself. There are parts of you that are yet separate from and in the shadows of the Christ itself. There are yet parts of you that have not undergone the alchemical process of transformation into the vibration of unconditional love of self and others. These things, these parts of yourself, these fears, hesitancies, and doubts are not disqualification from the process of the alchemical process of transformation, but rather they are, shall we say, the grist for the mill. This is the work that is yours to do. The work that is yours to do is to confront the self more and more deeply in a brave and unflinching way, noticing those parts of the self that are not love, coming to know them in truth, and through that process of acceptance and discipline of the personality, to bring those parts of the self into vibrational accord with unconditional love and truth, that the Christed being that you are and are becoming is alchemized and manifest into physical form. Your humanity is holy. Your perceived imperfections are holy. You are holy. You are whole. Know this, trust this, Do not fear your shadow. Do not fear your imperfection. Do not fear those parts of yourself that are yet in shadow. With new levels of consciousness and awakening, more and more of your shadow will be revealed. More and more of your undisciplined desires shall be known. More and more of your places within yourself that you are not loving will be revealed. You will come to know that you have parts of yourself that judge, that are angry, that reject yourself and others. This is so. But do not allow these things that are parts of yourself that have not yet been alchemized to undermine your knowing that you are a Christed being, remembering your Christhood. Your awareness can get identified with your faults, at least perceived faults. Your awareness can become identified with your shadow, your unconscious self. But this is not the truth of who and what you are. Continually bring your awareness to the heart space. Continually ask yourself, what would love do in this moment? Continually ask yourself, what would my Christed nature do in this moment? Continually ask yourself, who am I in truth and how do I serve? Hesitancy arises when we experience confusion. Hesitancy arises when we forget what is true and get lost in the infinite possibilities of that which we may be if we choose. You see, dear ones, you have infinite choice, and there are infinite possibilities for your life. There are many paths before you. The Christed path, the golden path, is one amongst them. It is the path of truth. It is the path of the highest light. It is the path of the integration of all the different parts of yourself into the frequency of unconditional love and the manifestation of the unique aspect of God that you are into form. Not any two Christs are alike, save for their vibration at the frequency of unconditional love. Each one has a unique quality that represents their journey through form over many lifetimes. The diversity, shall we say, is not a flaw. The diversity is the point of manifest reality itself. You will get insights into truth now and then. You may be able to hold the clarity of those insights for various periods of time, sometimes for only a moment, sometimes for days, weeks, months, or even years. But there will always arise points in your journey where your confidence in who and what you are is undermined. Your faith is undermined. Your will is undermined. And you find yourself lost in the wilderness of the infinite possibilities for your life and are unable to find the golden path of your divinity. These come as compromises to truth, one by one, which seem innocuous at first. I will go back to being this or that. That is more palatable to others. That is more acceptable to myself. That is an easier road than the one I was on. This will occur over and over until all doubt is conquered and you are established firmly in your own Christhood and divinity. The one who speaks is questioning this teaching. The one who speaks says, that is easy for you to say. It's easy for you who are not informed to say, to walk the path of the golden truth without fear or hesitancy or doubt, when you have already completed this process. You don't know what it's like to be human. You don't know what it's like to try to work and make a living, to pay bills, to have a family. You don't know what it's like to live amongst people who do not see you as the Christ, but see you as something else, that see you as odd or strange or somehow insane. You don't know what it's like to be human. You don't know what it's like to live amongst all this doubt, confusion, and density. How are we to be Christ in a world that does not like Christ? How are we to be Christ in a world that persecutes Christ? How are we to be anything other than what others will allow us to be? And we say unto you, we have been you, we are you. We merely speak from that perspective of yourself that has already completed this journey. We speak outside of time and space, at the end point of the golden path, where we have transcended physical form and become, in truth, Christ. We have encountered your worries. We have lived your journey, for we are you. We are you. We are you. We speak through the one who is now channeling this message as a mere convenience to give you a perspective that is, let us say, more integrated than what can be attained by one who is yet in the midst of this alchemical process. But we say unto you, we have walked the path, we are walking the path, we are walking the path as you in form. And the fact that we are able to speak, the fact that you are able to listen, is proof enough that it is possible, and that, in fact, the work is already done. You are merely in the midst of things, and are struggling to see past your limited perspective. We understand that this is difficult. We understand that it is easy to get lost. We understand, and we say unto you, be well and know that you are God. Doubt. Doubt is a dog that chases you. It is a persistent companion that hounds you. It is the part of the self that says, how am I to have faith when I do not feel that I have reason to do so? How am I to have faith when everything within me says, this is nonsense, this is foolishness, I am a simple man, a simple woman, I am mediocre at best by all objective standards, I am not Christ, I am not worthy of this path or the divinity wishing to be born through me. Look at all of my flaws. Look at all of my mistakes. Look at all the times I tried to be this thing you say I am and fell short. And we say unto yes, 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 you have erred at times, but these are not mistakes. These are learning opportunities. You are learning, you are growing. You must walk the path that is not at times in order to know what is true. Doubt arises. It would not be faith if there was not doubt. It would be knowing. Faith is what you came into this plane of density to cultivate, learn, and strengthen. If you were outside of your body, if you were in our perspective fully, you would have no doubts. You would simply be yourself as Christ, in Christ, a light of unconditional love and knowing that you are God. That is a beautiful perspective, but it is a perspective that is the culmination of all the struggle that you currently face. The struggle you currently face is the alchemical furnace of transformation that is giving way to that which we are. Have faith, dear ones. Have faith. Continue to walk the golden path of your own ascension, your own transformation, and your own evolution. Have faith, dear ones, and continue to attune to the vibration of unconditional love, and know that you are Christ, being born through your own awakening heart. Allow your fears to arise within you. Do not suppress them, do not ignore them, do not cast them into shadows, for if they live in shadows they shall remain, and they shall control you in unseen ways. Look at your fear, know your fear, be honest about your fear, and through discernment, self-inquiry, meditation, and prayer, have faith and transmute your fears into steadfast commitment to walking the path one foot in front of the other, knowing that all is truly well. Do not ignore your hesitancy. Do not cast it into shadow, for if you do so, you will find yourself stuck and you won't know why. You are stuck, you are hesitant, when you are unable to discern truth. You are stuck, you are hesitant, when your vital energy simply will not allow you to continue down the road you are walking because it is not in alignment with your highest good. Notice your hesitancy. Your hesitancy is your teacher. Your hesitancy is telling you when there are things not yet integrated that must be integrated in order for you to continue upon the path. Notice your doubt. Do not allow yourself to put on the brave face that says, I am certain this is the way. I shall walk quickly in the direction of my knowing, when in truth you are trembling inside, and each step is a shuffle. Each step sometimes takes you in a direction you did not intend, because you were not clear and honest about your doubts. They are directing you from the shadows and causing you to lose your way. Self-honesty is the most precious thing you can offer to yourself at this time. Self-honesty about your fear, about your hesitancy and your doubt is the first step in the process of confronting these things, and through the process of prayer, the process of meditation and self-inquiry and other effective methods for transformation, taking those things and offering them up into the heart space in ultimate surrender to say, I am imperfect, I know. I have many unfinished parts. I have fears, I have hesitancy, and I have doubt. Yet there is a part of me that knows who and what I am as Christ. There is a part of me that knows who and what I am as a Christ being born through my own awakening heart into my life. There is a part of me that is clear, that is knowing, that has already done that which other parts of me wish to do. And it is to that part that I will listen, knowing that all these other parts exist and that they have a valid perspective, though that is a perspective that I choose not to adhere to any longer, because I have the clarity and discernment to know where they are flawed. For the paths before me are infinite. I may choose and I may create all things from heaven to hell. I can choose a mediocre path. I can live an ordinary life. I can become simply one amongst the crowd, and therefore not suffer persecution by myself or others. I will be acceptable to others. I will be acceptable to myself because I am acceptable to others. And therefore my life will be simple. My life will no longer have all of this chaos, all of these upheavals, all of this confusion. I will find peace by standing still. I will find peace by being one amongst many in an anonymous crowd of mediocrity. You may choose that path if you wish, and there is nothing wrong with it. There are no wrong paths. We are simply trying to teach you the path of Christhood, the golden path, if you choose it, of becoming incarnate as your own divine self in form. It is a great undertaking to walk this path. It is difficult at times and beautiful as well. We assure you that it is worthwhile. We assure you that it is a path that you must walk, one life or another, for this is the nature of evolution. We cannot remain anonymous forever. We cannot remain hidden forever from ourselves and others. This point you are in as a species on your planet is one in which all the paths that have been walked, all the paths that may yet be seen, are looked at, and the path, the golden path of the evolution of consciousness into the Christ itself is chosen firmly. It is the saying to the self and others, I know who I am, I know who I have been, and I know who I shall become. And in this moment, I choose to become the Christ itself, which is my truest self. I choose to become hollow, so that I may channel the divine light that I am into this body of form and life, and sanctify all that I am, have been, and do. This is not an abandonment of those parts of the self that are not yet of love and in love with being alive. It is a confrontation with them and a bringing them into the light and integrating them into the self, so that you may become the unique divine manifestation of Christhood that you are. This completes the transmission for today, dear ones. Until next time, Adonai.